Big news. I have some important news for you.
Interesting news.
It's Blake and Darren's Spilling the Tea with Sandy.
Cayman's top news headlines of the day from CMR.
Brought to you by J. Michael, fashion for everyone. Good morning, Sandy.
Hey, good morning, Blake. How you doing?
We are good on a Wednesday. Hump day.
Yeah, happy Wednesday. So, of course, all of our calendars are marked for today because we will be at the court's office this morning to hear what the final outcome is of the former Miss Cayman Islands Universe trial. Not trial, but her actual sentencing is scheduled for today.
Oh,
So,
what do we think that's going to be?
It's hard to say because, what happened was she had previous offenses that were not recorded, but once this conviction came in, for all intents and purposes, those were then recorded and became live. So she's a multiple offender of assaulting police and others. So it's a little bit hard to say how, the judge, the magistrate, my apologies, Magistrate McFarland, certainly did not give her a pass during her guilty verdict. So if that continues, I don't know.
Could it be jail time? Is that on the table?
It can be. It's on the table. It's not an impossibility. So, yeah.
Well, we'll look for that on CMR later.
Absolutely. We'll drop it as soon as it happens. So we'll all be there. This is another interesting story. Remember Cayman First? We covered them having a lot of issues, payment issues and so on. I think this is dating back maybe even last year. And of course, they were in complete denial mode. We know that local authorities have put them under some additional regulatory, constraints. But now their parent company, this is super interesting, Bahamas First, told shareholders that it assigned its non-executive directors to probe the issues that their subsidiary Cayman First is having. And apparently they are threatening to bar Cayman First from writing new life and health insurance policies due to a backlog in making payments. So this is getting pretty serious when your parent company is saying, we've got a problem. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that. Of course, that makes people very, very uncomfortable who have Cayman First.
Sure.
And physicians continue to not want to, accept it. So we'll see.
Wow. All right. We'll keep an eye on that one as well.
Yeah. So UCCI, big shout out to them. They had a STEM camp, which introduced lionfish dissection and energy audits to their students. So this is pretty cool and interesting. So the University College of the Cayman Islands welcomed 26 aspiring young STEM experts aged 19 to 13 in its 7th annual STEM summer camp program. And this year, as part of the program, they do everything from like programming robots, chemistry experiments, vlogging, and so on, how to use a microscope, 3D modeling. But this year, they put a little extra Caribbean and, Cayman twist on it. And they added the dissection of lionfish and energy audits. So that's pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonder what you find when you dissect a lionfish.
I have no clue.
Spines.
Yeah.
Poisonous spines.
Yeah. Seriously. Of course they would be wearing gloves and other things, but yes. Right. So yesterday on the Cold Hard Truth, we gave a bit of an exclusive in terms of information about the Barbados route. So, the announcement was made about the Cayman Islands flying into Barbados, and people are asking about the financial viability of it. Well, we disclose, again, totally exclusive, that what the Cayman Islands government has done, the Ministry of Tourism and Port, is they're actually having Barbados pay for it.
Okay.
So they will not lose any money at all because Barbados is basically guaranteeing the trip. So they've got a 1-year contract. Barbados will pay up to $60,000 round trip. If they make more than that, then Barbados is off the hook. So it's a win-win, I suppose, for everyone. And it means that Barbados has a real money interest, in making sure that this route is successful.
I was thinking about this last night. As a matter of fact, I was on the interwebs looking at Barbados festivals. There's a couple of good ones they have annually. But I think the hope is that people from Los Angeles, that area, will use Cayman as a connection to go to Barbados. Am I correct in saying that?
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, for sure.
So what's interesting is, have we ever used Owen Roberts as a connecting airport? How do you connect? So when you get off, how will they route people to a connecting gate? Will they make you go through immigration as if you're coming to Cayman, then back out, get your luggage, and then come back through? So I was just thinking about, when you connect normally in an airport, other
Yeah.
airports, how will they do that here in Cayman? I was just curious. I just started thinking about that last night. Maybe
Huh.
something.
It's a good question. I'll ask.
Yeah, all right. Well, in the meantime, we'll catch you on Bobo 89.1 FM coming up, and we'll see you tomorrow on KISS for the Thursday headlines. Have a
All
good
right.
one.
Thanks a lot, Blake. Have a good one. All right, folks. Good morning. Hope that you guys are having a good Hump Day Wednesday. We're going to go live here in radio in just a few seconds. Let me go ahead and grab my Facebook link so that I can send this out to all of our people joining us this morning on WhatsApp. Give me 1 second. Okay. 9362626 is the telephone number. Okay. Get this here. Just a couple of seconds, and we'll be live on radio, folks. Tell your friends about us just in case they don't happen to know about the cold hard truth and where to find it. You can let them know. All right. About 20 seconds left. Good morning, everyone.
Bigger, better, bolder. The cold, hard truth is taking talk to the next level. Right here on Bobo 89.1 FM, Cayman's community radio.
We are still spilling the tea.
And committed to being part of the change that Cayman so desperately needs. Join Sandy Hill weekdays from 7:30 a.m. for Premier Access, Cayman Voices, Truthful Thursdays, and much more. Cayman's #1 talk show is now bigger, better, bolder, and more than talk. Getting results with hot topics, consumer reports, court exposés, and more.
I've come to set the record straight. I've come to shine the light on you. Let me introduce myself. I am the cold, hard truth.
Now, from the CMR studio in Grand Cayman,
Live, direct.
it's the cold, hard truth. Now, join the conversation on 345-936-2626.
That number again is
345-936-2626.
All right. Good morning. Good morning, beautiful people. How are you guys doing? Hope that you are doing well. Happy Hump Day Wednesday. We have a lot going on today. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let me say good morning to some of our usual suspects who are here. So this morning we have Miss Vernita sending her condolences. We're going to talk about that here in a second. Marshall is here. Dahlia, thank you so much for tuning in. Cece McLaughlin is joining us as well. Miss Morna, good morning, Miss Morna. Yes, it is a very sad day for all of us. We're going to get into those details. Good morning to Gina. Felicia is here. Olivia, Leroy, joining us back. Oh, you're out of the hospital. My goodness, we did not even know that you were in the hospital. Good morning to Mary, Osia, We've got Miss Elsa, Wee Wee. We hope you're feeling better, by the way, Leroy. Alba, good morning to you. She says, Buenos dias, Sandy. Sherry Lee, good morning. Miss Iva's here. Sonia, Alice, Aliano, Lisa joining us from West Bay. So good to see you. Paul, so good to see you joining us from Bermuda. Evelyn, Debbie, and we're going to talk about our condolences this morning. Definitely KK, Juanita, Jewel is here. Thank you, Miss Jewel. Dawn, First Lady, Sanya, of course, is here. Miss Anne Marie, Addie, and many, many more. Lots of people, almost 300 people in the live stream already. Hello, Tammy. So yesterday morning, if you guys were listening to the program, you would know that unfortunately during the show, we got some bad news. I was like shocked and in a state of disbelief, to be quite honest, that our good friend to the show, CMR, one of our number one fans, not just on social media, but she was on my WhatsApp. We frequently talked like all the time. She's in my WhatsApp news group. I was actually going through messages this morning. I'll tell you guys a little bit about that. Miss Andeen Sanderson had passed away. I was shocked. I mean, I was like, what? I mean, I think you guys saw yesterday. If you watched the program, I just could not believe it. So when these things are unexpected, it's just, I was just like, I'm still in a state of disbelief. Like part of me is like, this can't be real. But unfortunately, Andeen, 52 years old, has passed away. I want to spend a little bit of time this morning acknowledging her. And what I'd like for us to do, this is perhaps a bit unusual. I know we probably haven't really done this before, is to, have you guys call in. You can send your comments and stuff and share your stories and your fond memories of Miss Andeen. It's just one of those things where she was, someone who was endearing to us all and got on her nerves, but we still loved and appreciated her. And I think the outpouring of support for her family, she had left behind 3 girls, 3 young ladies. The outpouring of all of that love has been tremendous. And it made me start to think, really, if Andeen even knew how much she was loved, right? And how much people really appreciated her. And so even this morning, I had people sending me pictures. I'm going to share some of those of her. And one of the last messages that she sent me, because she was messaging me, she'd message me all the time, right? So she's in my news group. So sometimes she would send me messages, information. Listen, anybody who knew Andeen knew that she seemed to always be in the know about what was going on. And so she was always sharing tidbits of information with me, putting stuff in context, because sometimes, I wasn't 100%. You guys know already, because I didn't grow up here, there's a lot of people that I don't know, a lot of connections that I don't know. And so even when we report on people, they might be Caymanians, but I don't necessarily know who they are, what their life story is or whatever. And she was always one of those people to be like, okay, well, this person is connected to this person and, this, that, and the next thing. She would always give me a little bit of history, which I appreciated so much, because a lot of times that history put things in proper context for me. And it allowed me to understand more about situations. One of her last posts on Facebook was actually about CMR. So, sometimes Andeen would post stuff and she'd comment on CNR and people would be like, what the heck? And I just said, listen, just leave Andeen alone. Let her, be her, because she was going to do that anyway. And just do whatever she, her little heart desired in terms of her comments. She was always in Facebook jail. They would always put her in jail and block her. And I think, although she had a very tough exterior, she probably cared a lot more about what people thought than she let on. So, it's just one of those things where you think to yourself that people don't care. And in fact, the reason I think a lot of people respond the way that they do is perhaps they care a lot more than you realize. So she was, by all appearances, really, really appreciated by a lot of people. I don't know how many of you told her that on a regular basis. And I think this is one of those lessons in life where, tell people while they're alive what you think of them if they are important to you and how you love them and how you care about them. I know that we get busy. We all have very, very busy lives. And even sometimes, she would message me and I'd be like, oh, Andy. And she's like, hey, can you grab me some Burger King or whatever? She loved her some Burger King. And I'd be like, oh, I'm almost home already, but the times that I could do it, um, I would do it. We had different opinions on different things, but those things never interfered with the relationship that we had. I remember even during COVID, I was vaccinated. I had my daughter who obviously couldn't get vaccinated at the time because of her age. And one day Andeen messaged me and she's like, oh, Sandy, I need some food. Can you bring me some lunch? And I was like, I said, I have my daughter in the car, and Andeen did not want to take the vaccine. She did not take the vaccine. She was anti-vaccine, whatever. That was her opinion. And I said, listen to me, if I bring you food, I'm going to do a drive-by. Like, I'm literally going to push it out the window because I don't want you coughing in my car. I don't want you sneezing on anything or whatever, so that Gianna is going to catch COVID. So, we would have a good laugh at situations like that. And I remember, I took her her little, Burger King lunch, and I had a drink. She's like, oh, I don't really need a drink. And I'm like, well, it came with the meal. So, just take it and whatever. She was always funny. She always had, a sense of humor. But underneath that exterior sense of humor and toughness, there was a person who was extremely sensitive. I think most people know she's very, very open about the fact that she was a recovering addict, and she suffered with that, I think, for many, many years. In fact, I was trying to remember exactly how I met Andeen, and I can't remember the details, but she always reminded me that I met her when she was an addict and when she was in the middle of her addiction. And she would say to me, and I know she said it to other people, that, you know what, Sandy, I reached out to you. You didn't know me and I needed help. And as an addict, you provided that help. There weren't really any questions asked. You were there for me. And, it was people like you who helped me to get through some pretty tough times. She enjoyed, I think, her life as much as she could. She'd expressed she hadn't been working for quite some time. And she's expressed in more recent times that she really wanted to try to find a job to be more self-sufficient. And, I always encouraged her, of course, to do that. So literally 1 week before she died, on July the 18th, at 6:06 p.m., she put up this post that was so funny. She says, I'm so glad Cayman Mall Road wasn't around in my time. I would be on that daily, me and my friends. And so I saw the post and I remember sending her a WhatsApp message about it. And I think she was thinking that I was insulted by it, but I actually thought it was pretty funny. And this was her response. This is the voice note that she sent me. I've redacted. There was a profane word in it. And if you know Andeen, her mouth did not join church. She would curse like a sailor. And, it was just what it was. But we just took her as she was. She was rough around the edges, and that was perfectly fine. Nobody expected perfection. So listen to this. I mean, she made me crack up when I listened to this voice note that was sent on the 18th, which is just literally 1 week before she passed away.
Thank God you wasn't around in my time of growing up. I never meant nothing bad by it. So if you want to take it that way, that's your business. I never meant nothing bad by it. I said, thank God Mall Road wasn't around when I was growing up, for all the trouble that I used to get myself in, people husband and fighting. I would be on Cayman Road every day. So if you wanted that personal standard of your business, but I meant nothing by it, it was just for humor. 2 times a day, I would be
So
on the cold hard truth.
I responded to her and said, yeah, you'd probably be twice a day. And then she sent a follow-up message saying that 2 times a day would probably be nothing. Have a listen.
On the cold hard truth, the midday news, the night news, and you would get up 1 o'clock in the morning to report. Yeah, I tell you, when Annie was growing up, Sandra, I never pity nobody, man, especially if I know you didn't let me. Your man wanted me and I wasn't giving it up. Look here. And I mean no harm by it. I said, glad you wasn't around in my days of growing up. I would be on that every day. Remember, I tell you that. Me and I'm if I tell you.
Yeah. And so I guess that's the cold hard truth. I felt like she always spoke her truth. And that really made me have a chuckle. It was just hilarious that she was like, listen, if CMR was around back then, I might have been your top person that you were reporting on. We had a lot of good laughs. Like I said, she would send, I don't know, where she found some of the stuff she did, but sometimes she would send me some videos that I was just like, yo, Andeen, what the hell is this? Where did you get this video from? She would send all kind of stuff. That's why she was always in Facebook jail, because she would find content and she didn't care. She would just share it on social media. A lot of times I was like, girl, that is not appropriate. And she was just like, whatever, don't care. If you don't want to listen to it, don't listen to it. If you want to have a good laugh or whatever, it was certainly there for people to view. So I thought this morning, obviously her family, like I said, she's left behind her sisters, a slew of friends. She's got 3 young ladies, her children. I thought maybe we could spend some time just acknowledging her and her life. And, if you believe that people don't, you leave this physical world, but there are, there's a spirit that remains and people still know that you're thinking about them and they still know the positivity and the things that people are saying about them. I thought that this morning we could, at the very minimum, just acknowledge her a little bit, because I really don't think that in her life, she probably knew how many people would miss her if she wasn't here anymore. And so, I think it was not that long, probably about a week and a half ago, I was sending her, I messaged her and I said, oh, I'm going to send Miss Stacy by to bring you some lunch. And she said to me, no, I'm good. She'd had her situation sorted out. And she said, and this was just the type of person she was. Like, she was always, I think, appreciative. Sometimes you might have felt that she was a little bit demanding with certain things, but that was just her personality. But I know that, deep down, she was grateful for the people that helped her, and there's something really to be said for that. So she messaged and said, let me just see if I can find it. Basically that she was okay. She didn't need anything, but she said, this is why I love you. Thank you so much for thinking of me. Because I didn't even ask her in that day if she needed anything. I just knew that there were days when she was in need. And so I said to myself, well, I'm just going to have Miss Stacy bring you some food. And I messaged her and she said, no. I don't actually need anything today. I'm good. And so, I just want us to spend a little bit of time. She was only 52 years old, and just acknowledging her life. And, it's funny because she wasn't a business person. She wasn't a politician. She wasn't, some big time person. This is what she sent me recently. when I said to her, "Hey, I'm gonna you know," she was like, "Who said that I must come by the playfield?" And my Stacy's like, "Oh, have her come to the playfield and I'll meet her out there." She lived in Windsor Park, and I said, "My helper, Miss Stacy's gonna bring you some food." She said, "Oh, I didn't understand because," she said, "No, no, no, I don't need any food. I'm good. I'm just coming home from Foster." So I said, "Okay." I said, "All right, never mind then." She said, "That thanks, sweetie, for remembering me." She says, "My NAU card is up and running now," because she was having some issues with that. And I had reached out to the minister on her behalf to try to get that situation sorted. And she says, "That's why I love you." And then she put a little heart emoji. And I said, "Okay, great, no problem." And then she did hugs and heart emoji again. She, like I said, a lot of people might think, well, who the hell was Andeen? Why are we even spending all this time talking about her? But I think that sometimes we need to acknowledge the little person who's like struggling in this world, who didn't have, all of the advantages that other people have had, and was still, making her way through this world. And she was, for the most part, a very, very happy person. There were times that I knew that she struggled with some of the things that might have happened to her in life. And she would say to me, "People don't understand what I'm going through and, the life that I've had." And would just encourage her to try to remain positive, because she had, in my mind, overcome so much. You know, I mean, I can't share with you guys those private things, but I'll just leave it at, she has been through a lot, not just the addiction, but other things that have happened to her. And so, for me, for you to come out on the other side of that, even if it means just overcoming the addiction. It doesn't mean, oh, she's going to become a big shot lawyer next week or whatever, but just overcoming the addiction, I think, was saying so much about her journey. So I want us to celebrate Andeen today. Feel free to call in and share your comments, 936-2626. If you have something positive to say about Andeen, like I said, I believe that she is able to hear us and her spirit will live on. Sabrina says Andeen was a real one in the comment section. Denny extending his condolences to the family. Miss Olive says, "Rest well, sweet lady." Marshall says, "Yes, that's Andeen, just the way she was and how she talked. I can't believe I'll be talking about her in the past tense." Good morning. We do have a caller in the line. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Hi, good morning, Sandra. Jackie Neal here.
Hi, Jackie. Good morning.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for acknowledging Andeen. I know what you were to her. She often spoke to me about how kind you were. I think we both know the struggles that she went through.
Yes.
But I think she was one of the strongest people that I've known. I'm privileged to have called her my friend. We share the same birthday, and that was a big thing between us all the time. But yeah, she I don't think she knew how much she was loved. I don't think she appreciated how much the tough love was for her good.
Yes.
But thank you for all that you do for all of the Andeens of Cayman. There's a lot that goes on in WhatsApp behind closed doors that people don't know about you and the good that you do for the Andeens of Cayman. And I just want to publicly acknowledge that this morning and say thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Celebrating. And thank you for celebrating the Andeens.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay. Bye.
All right. We've got another caller. Good morning, caller. Uh-oh. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program. Oh, gosh. I'm not sure if that might have been my fault there. I was trying to grab that call. 936 2626 is the telephone number. Again, I believe that Andeen is listening to us this morning, and I'm sure she would love to hear some of your thoughts and comments. Thank you so much. Kalia says, "Rest, sleep in peace. Condolences to the family." Miss Miona says, Patricia says, "Andeen, one of the best people someone could know and one of the best friends anyone could hope to have. I've known her and her family for over 35 years, and she was the same person throughout. So thank you to Miss Jackie for all that she does in this community as well. Jess says, morning, Leroy. Again, everyone is glad that he's feeling better. Oops. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, son.
Morning.
Really is sad seeing Andeen gone, but we got really think about how we treat people nowadays. I didn't know she had an addiction. I've always looked at her like a nice lady. Like, I don't know her, but she messaged me and we were talking, but she didn't stay up as late as I could.
Yeah.
She didn't stay up as late as I could. So, that conversation got cut off very short and I never really got back to her, but I see her every day. You see her every day on the comment section. So it's almost as a devotion. We don't need to see each other every day to stay connected.
Yes.
And this is why I would like that you could recover from this quick, because we were meant to be happy and rejoice. And you did put a purpose inside of her heart in her own way. She made it an obligation, like most of us, to listen to what you have to say. And I think that she was satisfied.
Thank you so much, caller. Appreciate that.
Right.
We do have another call in the line. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Hi, morning, Sandy. Lavona here.
Morning, Lavona. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm here in the kitchen as usual. I just wanted to say something on behalf of my daughter first, because I know she's not going to call in. She don't do best well, obviously. We had a few in our close family as well, but it hit her so hard yesterday because this is my eldest daughter that's at the restaurant. She and her husband, takes food for her almost every day. And she said, when I messaged her yesterday, checking on her, because I obviously was at work and just always check on her to see, how the day went at the restaurant, etc. And she said, Mama, I almost had a heart attack. So I said, what happened? She said, Miss Andeen. I said, oh, I'm so sorry, because I was actually messaging her when she walked into the door yesterday. When I heard about Andeen, and it took her a far back. She's like, no, Mama, I go and call Miss Andeen. I said, no, Natisha, I'm telling you, she's no longer here. She said, but Mama, I just took food to Miss Andeen. Miss Andeen hugged me and told me she loved me and she was going, I'll see you tomorrow. So that right there, she just was in disbelief. She said, Mama, Miss Andeen is over. I said, no, Natisha. She just was in shock. So her husband, my son-in-law, he said he calls her the no clothes lady. He's Spanish from Cuba. So I said, what do you mean? He said, because anytime I call her, tell her I bring her food, she tell me, wait, I put on my clothes. So I had a chuckle on that yesterday when he was telling me that. And that's what my daughter was saying too. She say, Tico, that's his name. She say he calls her a no clothes lady. So just saying that to say how quickly something could happen. And Andeen was a very, very, very loyal customer of hers. They had other customers used to call in and say they want to pay for food for Andeen. The twins by the gas station, Chris and David, they would also leave money there at the gas station and say, get someone to pick it up and go get your food or whatever. And I called my daddy yesterday because, he just turned 8 and he used to do all the deliveries as well. And he no longer do that, but I called him and I said, Daddy, did you heard anything about Andy? And he said, no, I haven't seen her. I said, yeah, I know you haven't seen her. But, told him what happened. And he was like, what? And this is when she was, oh, Mr. Lewis, this, Mr. Lewis, that. She was always, how hyper she got sometimes. And she was very loud, but the most loving person ever. I was closest. I know all of the sisters. pretty much, come up with them in a sense. But I was closer to her other sister, Rosemary, which she's now in England. I'm sure she, went to stay, or she's gonna just went for a visit, or what I was saying not to you yesterday. But Andeen and the whole was just, she had this big heart. People just looked at her differently by not knowing her. Because like I said, she was loud. You could just be standing right by her and she's on top of her voice talking. But that was just the way she was. And like I said, she will be surely missed by all. And I hope my daughter is feeling much better today, to deal with this, because it was such a routine for her. Even if she said, Mama, even if Miss Andeen didn't get food, I would always still go and either go stop by, look for her, or she would tell her husband to call her or something when he's on the road just to check on her. So she was, and she's like that. That goes back to what you said. Check on people. Just give some people a call. It doesn't take nothing nowadays. Nobody wants to even pick up a phone. Everybody's just messaging. You know how it feels to just go to someone or call them at least. I hate it time. It's like to stop by and look for you, whatever. Make them at least know you're coming, or if you're in the area, something. But that is happening too often. That no one knows how loved they are, like you said, until now. I'm pretty sure Annie didn't know in her life that so many persons loved her and cared for her, and is now showing all of this support for her. But it should have been told to her maybe more than usual. Or I'm pretty sure, like I said, the people that are expressing it now probably didn't say it to her. One of my next customers, Maureen Thompson, she was very, very involved with her as well, just like yourself. After yesterday, someone said that about you. You do so many things and have so many people behind the scenes. You don't talk about it because that's not what you do. I am the same. I do stuff for people. Have people here or see me taking pictures or videos. That's not what you do. That's not what, as Caymanians, that's not what we're about. The whole long and short of it is tell the persons today that you love them today. Tell them tomorrow. Tell them as much as you love. I said it to my husband. I said, babe, I'll tell you 100 times a day, I love you, because that's how I feel at that time. You don't have to tell me back, but I'm going to tell you how I feel. Because my husband believes that he don't think it. You just say I love you. He believes in showing it. That is him. But I say, yeah, but sometimes you gotta say yes, you say. I'm not saying he don't say. I'm just saying as an example. I tell him 100 times a day if I want to, because that's how I feel, and I say it because I think about that. I don't want about to be wondering, I wonder if she loved me. No, I mightn't even say it as much to other persons. But if I see somebody, I make them feel it. But you know what? Going forward, I will do it more often and say to people more often than just, oh, hi, nice to see you. Good night. No, it was a nice seeing you today. I love to see you. You enjoy your day. Whatever. You do not know what some persons are going through. Trust me. You see people look so jolly on the outside, but only God knows what they're going through, and they're not saying nothing to person. Because what? Why? People don't say nothing to people because all they do is they're going to talk about it or talk about the person. And you're not supposed to do that. You should be in a space where you could speak to somebody and say, this is how I feel. Like I said, I had close family members, my sister, my niece, my aunt. I had like 3, 4 in 1 month. And it affected my youngest daughter. It was affecting her, and her workplace called me, and I went in her room and I said, and I spoke to her, because stuff like that, that's another thing. When death hits families, people don't even realize that how it affects. Now this is going to affect her daughters. Who's going to now, give them support? They need support now. So Andeen is gone, but she will never, ever, ever be forgotten, for sure. But now her daughters and her family needs the support. So that's where we need to show love to her now, to them, and we just not forget Andeen at all.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
That's my 2 cents. And like I say, she will surely be missed from the ordinary everyday life, and for sure from my daughter and I'm going to her to take food to her from the restaurant.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Lavana. Thank you. 936-2626 is the telephone number. Like I said, I just want us to acknowledge the life of Andeen. Not a perfect person. We're not acknowledging it because she was some great scientist or she won some, Nobel Peace Prize, but that doesn't have to happen for people to be in a special place in your heart and to mean something to you. Someone actually took the time this morning to send me this photo of her, which was her at her first job, which I thought was so cool. Obviously I didn't know Andeen then. I don't even think I was in Cayman Islands at the time, but this was her. And this person told me this is her at her first job, let me just see where this was again. It was at ICIC across from the Burger King on the waterfront, which was a BCCI affiliate. I don't even know what companies those are, but that was her. Look at the old time computer and keyboard. And, there she was answering the phone, doing her thing. So, of course, we know that her nephew recently passed away. In fact, 3 months to the day of her passing, he passed away, and there was the two of them, and she spoke so much about him. I remember her messaging me on the day of his accident because she's actually in my WhatsApp on my news list, and I remember her messaging me and saying to me that, "Oh, Sandy, this is horrible. That's my nephew," and I was like, "What?" Cayman is so small. I often say this to you guys that we are so incredibly small that when it's a Caymanian that passes away, we almost immediately know because we are so interconnected still and people, family members reach out. And so I couldn't believe that she'd lost her nephew. And even right now on her WhatsApp profile, Andeen has a photo of her nephew and it says ciao, and then she says her status on WhatsApp says rest in peace my nephew with the crying and broken heart emoji. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Morning.
I would just like to say condolences to her entire family.
Mm-hmm.
My name for her was Old Badness, and her name for me when I say that was
Yes.
But I would like to say condolences to her siblings. They were all close as far as I know.
Mm-hmm.
And she loved her nieces and her nephews. And condolences to her children, in particular Danielle. And Miss Danielle are going out on a limb and saying condolences from all of us. Derek, Kathy, Charlene, Kenny, and Steve, condolences. And to Mr. Kenny, I can't hear from you, but anyhow, and Kathy, condolences to you too.
Thank you.
Nobody knows, but condolences to all, and especially to Danielle. Okay, have a nice day.
Thank you so much. I want to read some of your comments, but feel free to call in. Like I said, I know this is a bit unusual, and it's just my heart has moved me today to do this for Andeen. And so, I wanted to make this happen. Mary says, good morning. I will definitely miss Andeen. SIP, my friend. Irvelyn said, my condolences to the family. SIP, Andeen Sanderson. KK says, we will all miss Andeen. Hilarious comments on CMR's show. May her soul rest in peace. So sometimes she wouldn't wake up in time for the show, but there are times I'd message her and I'd say, yeah, you better listen today. And she's, I'm on it. But, we always, as part of the Cayman Mall Road family and community, she was always there in the comment section. She had an opinion on most things. And she, sometimes you might not agree with her opinion, but she didn't care. She was going to express it. And we certainly appreciated her frankness. Miss Christine, good morning and condolences to you. She says, rest in peace, my sister. We all love you, but Jesus loves you best. Love and miss you. Karen, good morning to you. Karen says, my condolences to the family. I can imagine what they're going through. I myself is mourning the loss of my mom. Karen, we want to extend our condolences to you as well. We're so sorry to hear that. Ruth, good morning, says she was a great person. I followed her. I followed on her page, also on CMR, and she kept me informed on all of the latest news. Salvin, good morning. Salvin says, this is why I love this platform. Even if I disagree with the host, this speaks a lot of you in the way that you recognize and appreciate the ordinary or even the extraordinary person. Yeah, it's so funny because we look at people and we say, okay, they're ordinary. Like I said, oh, they haven't won this accolade in life and they haven't done this. And, they can be extraordinary because of the way in which they make you laugh, the way that they touch your life. And I think that Andeen, her spirit and the type of personality she had was definitely one of those people. So Blondie says, good morning. Thanks. So many say so much, but what is done? Thank you so much, Sandra. You've been able to share, and that's the cold hard truth. Thank you again. Sophia, good morning. Sophia says Andeen was the same sweet soul no matter what was happening in her life. She was a very special person. She will be missed by a whole lot of us until we meet again. Roly-poly joker. Miss Iva says, Sandy, I don't want anyone posting anything about me whenever I'm gone because you got haters out there that pretend that they care about the person when they pass away. Everyone is not like you that you can reach out to have a chat with. But when you need someone to talk to, Andeen was a dear friend of mine for years, and I'm going to miss her. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Morning, Sandra. Is that me?
Yes, good morning.
Morning there.
Good morning.
Boy, this is really a blow to the whole, I think all three Cayman Islands, because I believe, pretty much everybody knew Andeen. She was such a beautiful person. No matter what happened to her in life, she was a beautiful person.
Yes.
My condolences. I want to really say my condolences to her family and her children. But I would like to leave with a word today, People must never, ever think that they are too good to speak to someone, to give them a good word, or if they have an extra dollar that they can give someone. Someone saw me the other day standing up talking to, it's this guy that sits in town all the time on his bicycle, close out by Phillips Electrical. Ellard is his name. I love him to death. I always stand up and talk to him. I always ask him how he doing, if it's anything he need, what he doing for the day, what he did for the day. I don't know if you remember Rudy and Rossi. Oh God, they were all my friends. People see you dress and step out, and some people think you may think that you're all that, but they do not know what's in your heart. It's just like you, Sandra. People do not know the people, the sort of people and the kind of people that you reach out to. But we don't have to let people know what we do, how we help, because Caymanians on the whole, we most of the time don't want people to know our business when we need help and when we give and so forth. But anyway, I said that because you must never ever feel yourself too good, because sometimes the day come and go, and there is some of these people that just need a word from someone, and Ellard is the person, let me tell you, he don't beg. He don't beg. He will stand up and he will talk to you, and he'll get back if you cross, and if he know you and you cross and you don't speak to him, he will get back. But anyway, sometimes he will come and he say, now, I'm not begging you, but my cat not got no food today. I say, Ellard, boy, he love his animals. I say, okay. You take this and you go ahead buy your cat food. He said, well, I don't need all of this. I say, you take it and you buy enough that will last for a little while. He said, okay. And people must learn to pay it forward. You go to the supermarket and you see someone checking out that is counting the items they have. If you got a little extra $10, slip it in their hand and say, put that towards your groceries. a little $25. I know we all are hurting. We all are hurting in some area. There is some bills that have to be left. But you know what? You get your blessings when you pay it forward. Give. Continue giving. And when you plant seeds, they grow. So when you give, that is a seed you plant, and God will grow that seed for you even bigger. Sandra, thank you for giving me that time and to be able to honor Andeen today. And thank you for the work you're doing. You are a blessing. No matter we don't like what you say sometime or maybe how you do it sometime, but let me tell you, your platform has brought a light, a bright shining light to Cayman, because there is a lot of things that we would not have known if it wasn't for you shining the light on it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much. We have another caller. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Morning, Sandra. Curtis in the Black. How you doing?
Hey, Curtis. Morning. How are you?
Okay. I just wanted to call give my condolences to Andeen's family as well. And the last caller said, like she's known throughout the three islands, which is true. I never met the woman in my life, Sandra, but she added me on Facebook because I guess I'm like her. I'll tell you how it goes through. Woman messages me at least once a week all the time. I'm sorry that I'm not one that saves voice notes and things. But I remember about 3 months ago she messaged me and said, well, boy, I'm in Facebook jail for a month. And I said, just make another account. She said, nah, I can write it out. I'll just take a break.
Yes.
So that's the kind of person she was. So
yeah.
I just wanted to acknowledge that.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate it, Curtis.
All right, cool.
All right, my dear. 936-2626. I see someone else was just trying to get through. Feel free to give us a call back. Gilder says, rest in peace, my dear friend. Condolences to her family and friends. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Morning,
morning.
I really appreciate what you're doing for Andeen, but there's a few things I have to say. Like Cayman Islands, everybody is judgmental. Everybody has a past. Andeen was a sweet soul, and Andeen did a lot for a lot of people in this community that people do not even have no knowledge of.
Right.
And I mean, just on Saturday, I have a missed call from her. She was sick the week before. I carried her to get her medication. And it really hurts to see the negative comments that people would put, not knowing, not having a postmortem, nothing. And they're quick to say drugs. Everybody have a past. If they saw Andeen recently, they would realize she was not on drugs. She was doing well.
I haven't even seen any of those comments, but yes.
Oh my gosh. This is just so hurtful. My condolences goes out to her family, her kids, friends. Andeen was loved by everyone. She was just a sweet soul. And she'll forever be here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Good one.
Okay, dear. 936-2626. Yeah, I mean, this is not the time for the negativity, folks. Tashika, thank you, says Andeen will forever be loved and missed. SIP, my good friend, just last week I took you to get your meds. She may have used drugs, but she was still a sweet soul. Why is everyone so quick to say drugs? If you all have seen her recently, you'd know that she wasn't on drugs. Listen, for years now, to the best of my knowledge, Andeen has overcome her addictions, and she has been, working past and through that hurdle. So, no one can say with any degree of certainty, but I do not believe in my heart of hearts that is what this was all about. In fact, I'll share something here with you in just a second. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Sally.
Morning, Sally.
Yes, I know all names for a good time. I can't remember the date, but when 2022, my daughter lost her house down in Banana Walk. Who was the first one to reach with all? And she wouldn't leave with us. She went, she got food for us. She did everything for us. So I'm well missed her. So my condolence goes out to the family.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you, Sally. Cindy Lee says, good morning. So sad. My deepest condolences to the entire family praying for God to comfort her entire family through this difficult time in their lives. She'll be missed a lot, but forever in her hearts. SIP, Andeen. Georgette says, a simple visit sometimes matters. A simple I love you. Sometimes people see you, but don't know what someone is going through. Rest in peace, Miss Andeen. I wish I got the chance to meet you. You would have loved to sit and chat with you because me and you have the same attitude. Everton says it's so crazy the amount of people that claim they didn't know you and they're grieving when you pass. But when you're alive, nobody gives a rat's, you know what, to say hello. People like those, I'd say to hell with you. I don't need friends or only friends or any family who treat me like that. I don't cry. What? I don't cry for me when I die. Cry for me when I'm alive. Okay. Tashika says, Sandy, she shared a special kind of love and care for you. I know you're just as hurt as me, but her memories will live on forever. Red Gal, we genuinely love you. Lucille, good morning, Miss Lucille Forbes, extending her deepest condolences to the family and friends. She said she heard about it from yesterday, and I don't call my daughter about it. Their children grew up in my eyes. I feel your pain. Stay strong. I love you all at home, Sandy. I have my children too. Thanks to that. Thank you so much. Miss, this is Weather Hill. I worked with her at ICIC. She was so jovial and outspoken. We worked with Pakistani men, and she kept them on their toes. Fearless yet friendly, unique and real. Thank you for that, Miss Vernita. Also sending her condolences, saying Andeen gone too soon, and the others was like my family, so close that I took a trip to Treasure Island Beach in St. Elizabeth, Jamaica, to look for Mama. Your grandmother, rest in peace. So, Miss Jackie Mullings-Watler, agreeing with a caller earlier. I think that at the end of the day, the takeaway here, folks, is people are not perfect. We can't force people to be perfect, and we can't force people to be what they're not. You have to give people, I guess, the grace and the space to be who they are. Some people, it's just easier to love some people. And I think that Andeen was definitely one of those individuals. Miss Daisy also sending her condolences to the family, saying especially her kids, her sisters, that she's very close to her sister Donna. May her soul rest in peace. She says, I will miss Andeen, especially for her jokes, always teasing me about, girl, you're not getting no older. Tell me what your secret is so I can do it. So I can do what you're doing and that I can look young like you. Good morning, caller, and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Sandra. I was just wanting to continue on from the person that said they worked with her at ICIC.
Yes.
And she kept those Pakistanis on their toes.
Mm-hmm.
She literally did, because I think I sent you the message of when the manager fired her, and he stood by the door for 2 days. Oh. Nobody could say anything to him. On the third day, he had this look of glee and a smile on his face because Andeen was walking back into the office. They didn't ask her, and she came in, and he said, he opened that door and he said, welcome back, Andeen. Now, can you please get me a cup of coffee?
Oh my gosh.
And I mean, they were just, she kept him on the toes, literally.
Yeah. Very good.
And yeah, she was, they just, I think you caught on real quick to the type of person she was. And, you just had to ride with it, Nobody could stay mad at her, and she'd call me in the night and I need you to pick something up for me, and I'm down in West Bay and she's in Prospect. I was like, okay, Andeen, I'm coming. That was just her.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right, my dear. 936-2626. Share your memories, folks. This is therapeutic, I think, for us to remember the good times and, share those with other people. I'm sure that her family, some of the sisters may be listening to the program this morning. I know she's got a sister in Jamaica. I'm a half sister that I understand is a frequent listener to the program. And, we want to definitely extend our condolences to everyone of them, and especially her children. So Sherry Ann says she was a good friend of mine. Anything she wanted, I would give her. Me and Miss Jamila would always visit her on Mondays and go visit her to carry her something that she had asked. As I will miss her. Sorry, I did not I did not get my condolences to the entire family. God bless you all at this time. Bless her children and grandchildren. Miss Mara sending condolences. Miss Ann Forrester sending condolences as well. View her heel. I don't know if I'm mispronouncing your name. Forgive me if I am. Said you would never know what she was going through because she was always running jokes, being real or helping someone based on my conversations with her. She didn't know how much she was loved and respected. And so the idea this morning, folks, is to let her know that, because I think, again, that you transcend the physical, but you're still very much here. So Andeen is hearing us today, and she's knowing how much she meant to all of us. Saying that she made work enjoyable. Ms. Bonnie sends her condolences as well to the family and says, Donna, be strong. Loretta, good morning. Also sending her condolences. Inspiring says, life is so short. We never know when we'll be leaving. Rest in peace, Miss Andeen. Damien, thank you. Sarah says, I knew Andeen on a very personal level, and she did not truly know how many loved her because she felt alone and forgotten most of the time. Rest well, my friend. Love you and will miss you. And Sarah, I know that because sometimes she would send me voice notes, just being upset, thinking that nobody cared. And, I would try to let her know that it's not that people don't care. It's just that sometimes people just get so busy with their own lives. We forget to pause, to just hit the pause button and tell those closest to you how much you really care about them. Good morning to Lucy Wood. It says condolences to the family and friends, SIP, Andeen. So we have some people who are sending messages via WhatsApp as well, but give us a call. I'm sure her family. Here's one that has come in. This one says, good morning, Miss Sandy. My name is Haley Hides. I watch your show every morning on YouTube. I just want to give my condolences to Andeen's family and friends. I have known Andeen all of my life. We worked together at Burger King. She was a great friend and a great coworker. Just last week, I reached out to her to reminisce about our good times at work. She may have fallen along the way, but one thing for sure, she was always transparent. She always would give me great advice and tell me not to fall in her footsteps. I will forever cherish those words of encouragement and the hugs she would give me every time we see each other. For that honesty of her, I will forever be grateful. I'm praying for her children, grandchildren, family, and friends. Thank you so much, Haley, for that very, very beautiful message. Miss Christine, thank you so much. Yes, her sister there in Jamaica. I was told this morning that you are a regular viewer to the program. So thank you so much. She says, yes, I'm watching right now, and I'm one of your CMR fans. Appreciate it. Jesus, good morning. Says, rest in peace, Andeen. Miss Morna says, Andeen was my next door neighbor, and she would call me and say, Morna, meet me halfway. Yes, I know she lived right there in Prospect. I went to Foster's and I got a pack of chicken. I want you to cook me some curry chicken. And I say to her, why you didn't tell me that before I started to cook? She said to me, I don't care. I feel for some of your nice curry chicken. She couldn't say no. My deepest condolences to her entire family and friends. Rest in peace. Miss Ivis says, Andeen gave me my first helper for my 3 children from 1992 till 2004. When I told her I was looking for someone, she'd bring this lady and say, Miss Iva, this is my cousin June, and she loves kids. And my children took to her like she was their second mother up until this day. We so close to Miss Joan. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Miss Sandy. How are you this morning?
Morning, dear. How are you?
I know. Listen to your program and get to understand. I'm here the person yesterday. I realized that person, the name ring a bell. I don't know, but I hear she name before. Me and her family is neighbor back home. Oh, when I get the call this morning, somebody takes me and said, no, and then we just get the condolence. I have to send condolence back home. Really hard, but me never know her like say they are in person. But I see the picture yesterday, I say, you know that person, and it's a Sanderson. So yeah. So like that. Condolence and answer your feelings. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate that. Yes.
Have a blessed day.
Thanks, you too. It's such a small world, right? Don't forget, folks, you can call us on WhatsApp. You can do 936-2626. You have my personal number, which I think all of Cayman has, so not so personal, 324-1612. If you don't have any credit or perhaps you're overseas and you'd like to extend your condolences, you can still call us on the WhatsApp. 324-1612, 936-2626. Isn't that amazing? He found out that she's actually a neighbor, was a neighbor back there in Jamaica. He's like, that looked from her picture looked familiar. Allison, good morning. Allison says condolences to her kids, grandkids, especially my baby girl, Sky. She loved her grandma, her sisters. May the Almighty God bring comfort to them in this sad time. Jim says it only takes a moment to reach out to those people we claim to love and care for. Don't wait. We're all going through our own struggles we don't want to burden someone else with. So a brief call to say hello, thinking of you goes a long, long way. Old Dean says, my heart is hurting. I remember one Sunday, she called me to find out what I had cooked. She said, I know you cook big on Sundays. I told her what I cooked and what dessert I baked. She said, boy, I wish I lived in West Bay. So I asked her where she lived, and I told her I would leave early for church and drop it off. And she was so grateful for it and said, Miss Aldine, not so many of my family would have done this for me. Rest in peace, my friend. Miss Lorraine extending condolences to the bereaved family. She says, asleep in Jesus, blessed sleep. Miss Dean says, just to let the caller know, it's not Cayman only morning. I'm from a different island, and I only know her on CMR. I'm here with teary eyes, grieving. I pray for strength and comfort for families and friends. Also, the CMR community. Rest well, sweetheart. It's amazing the community that we have here, just even online. You know, the usual suspects. I don't see Cameron here this morning, but Cameron is always in the comment section, commenting and saying things that make us pause and have a little chuckle. Alejandro is here every single morning. Miss Renita is here every single morning. I mean, there are people that wake up with me. I feel like every morning, clockwork, I'm getting ready to get on the program and to do the show. And those people are here, sometimes even before I go live. Miss Renita always checking in and commenting bright and early. She's obviously a morning person. Always commenting bright and early in the morning. Miss Sherry Lee says, I last met Andeen a few weeks ago in McRuss, and she said, Miss Sherry, I'm short of $1. Do you have one to spare before I can answer? She said, if you don't have it, I will ask someone else. I said to her, Andeen, $1 is nothing to me. Here's $5. Go get what you need. Andeen never done thanking me for the $5. She also told me, God bless you. Rest in peace, Andeen. Alejandro says genuineness is not cheap. Lavana says she loved her food like a lot of Caymanians. Isn't that beautiful? Miss Jackie Watler says this is very sad. I seen her on Saturday night at Foster's Airport. I stand in line. I hear someone calling me. This one is open. Open up. I walk towards the line. A man was going in the line. She stand in the gap until I reach. She was even there teasing a man, laughing at him. Ms. Zelfa expressing her condolences to the family. Ms. Dean says, I'm now learning that she's from my parish. Liasa says, good morning, Sandy. I'm sending my condolences to Andeen's family. She'll be greatly missed by all. May her soul rest in peace. This is so sad. And First Lady Jeanne also expressing that she'll miss her. Angel says, Andeen was my girl. She would always call to either call Domino's or order her Burger King, barbecue chicken from Lavana's Kitchen. She'd always call to nag me, Andeen, what happened now? You see me calling you and you wouldn't answer. I say, what now? I really gonna miss her calling me to nag me. Fly high, my girl. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Morning, Sandy.
Morning.
I really don't know her. I mean, I know her by seeing her, but I'm very close to the sister that lost her son.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about 2 weeks ago at the Bible study that we have. The sister was asking for prayers for her. She was in the hospital.
Yes.
And like I said, I'm not in much contact with her, but what I do notice is that apart from the outside, as you said, maybe rough edges, it seemed that there was a special person on the inside reaching out to connect.
Mm-hmm.
To connect with whoever it was, to connect, make a connection.
Mm-hmm.
That inner person. So I as I said, the sister was here asking for prayers. And it's good when, no matter what or how, that we can impact her life.
Mm.
So that's my little bit.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. 936-2626. We're going to be going until 9 o'clock this morning. We're actually going to have a shortened show because I've got to go to court to report on that case there. So we will play the press briefing after that from the minister on the new route to Barbados. So we'll take the rest of the live show to express our condolences. So Lucille says, I'm going to call you privately. I want you to do something on behalf of Andeen for me. I did not know she was in a situation like this but God knows best. I will call you in the coming month. Stacey says, my first time to her house, I got lost. When I reached her, the smile on her face changed the whole mood. Rest in peace. Karen says, rest in peace, Miss Andeen. You'll be missed dearly. Rosemary says, sleep in peace, my sister. This is one of her sisters, Miss Rosemary Sanderson. I'll miss you dearly. All I have are memories that I'll hold on to. So sorry, Rosemary and the rest of the family. Damaris, expressing condolences to the family, said she would call me every now and then. Although I don't live in Cayman, she would ask me when I was coming home, and I would tell her, I would say, she'd say, don't forget my size, laughing out loud. Wee Wee says she'll be missed. She's resting in the arms of God. Thank you, Perla. Yeah. So I wanted to share. We have another caller. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program. Hello, caller. Hi, caller. Can you hear me? Hello? Okay. I don't know if that was a butt dial, but there was a song that I came across recently on social media, which I thought was so appropriate for the occasion. That I wanted to share it with you. And then there's another one that I will play again in the memory of Andeen this morning. So this is an original piece. As far as I know, this young man does original music that he writes. And I tell you what, this is just an amazing song that really, quite honestly, hit a nerve with me when I heard it. And I actually saved it on my profile page, not knowing that I'd be using it today, of course. So just enjoy this.
Well, I know you're up in heaven, but damn, it hurts like hell. 'Cause I'd just be pretending if I said anything else. And I know God don't make mistakes, but this sure feels like one. That won't change the facts, that won't bring you back. So I'll cry 'cause it's over, and smile because we had you. Packed a whole lot of living even though it ended all too soon. And in time I'll start healing, but even when I get that feeling, no matter where I go or what I do, I'll never not remember you.
It's a partial because I think the young man hasn't actually completed the song yet, but I'm hoping that he will obviously do so. So I think it's such a beautiful song. And there's another one that I'm trying to grab. Just give me one quick second here. I'm just going to grab this from again, just from Facebook here. Hopefully we won't get any copyright problems, but hey, for Andeen, we'll go to Facebook jail just for her today. At this point, we don't even care. I do want to acknowledge April Cummings this morning as well. I saw April in the comment section earlier this morning, and April actually posted something on Andeen's page yesterday that was amazing. And so just give me 1 second. I'm going to pull that up. I think that she captured the essence of Andeen. So she said, I lost a friend today. She was loud, off color, funny, charismatic, obnoxious, shameless, vulnerable. She was all the things, everywhere, all at once. She drove me crazy. She made me laugh and cry. She was frustrating, both honest and deceitful, giving and selfish. I will miss her for the rest of my life. Andeen, you insisted we would be friends, and we were. Even if I wasn't always there for you, you were always in my heart, and I pray that you have found the peace that this life couldn't give you. And to all those who judge, at least she kept trying. Thank you so much, April Cummings, just amazing and eloquent with her words. Good morning to Michelle. She says, Andeen was always real. No hesitation to tell you exactly what she thought. I've known her from the Cayman Islands high school days, and she can, and you can say that she never changed. Condolences to her family. She will be missed. Rest in peace, Andeen. Kathy says, this is a beautiful song, Sandy. I have it on my phone too. Rest in peace, my dear friend. If you have the full song, actually, Kathy, send me the link because I like the full song. For some reason, I only have just that snippet. Anthony says, beautiful song and quite appropriate. Dean says, I pray you and the rest of the family will be strengthened and comforted by God's amazing love. Will she be laid to rest in Jamaica? Well, I know Andeen's family, I think, is originally from Jamaica, but child, she is Caymanian to the bone. So I do believe she will be laid to rest here. We will, as soon as we know more about the funeral arrangements, we'll be putting that up. I'm sure they will have a candlelight vigil for Andeen as well. So we'll share all of those details with you. Miss Judy Irvlin says, I'm so speechless. I had to take a break. Miss Judy says, oh, my friend, I feel this one. You always were the same person from school. I miss you. Kathy says, oh, yeah, that's only, I think he hasn't completed the song yet. We'll see if we can get him to do so. That'd be so wonderful. Jim says, would love to give you a hug, Sandy, but I probably wouldn't let go feeling your pain. And, you know, my pain is nothing compared to her children and her sisters, you know, who knew her their entire lives and would have known her even more intimately for sure than I did. So those are the people that we hold up in our thoughts and our prayers this morning. Amanda Says, rest in peace, Auntie Andeen. We will surely miss you. And here's another song that we'd like to go ahead and play in Andeen's honor this morning as well.
Didn't know today would be our last, or that I'd have to say goodbye to you so fast. I'm so numb I can't feel anymore. I'm praying you just walk back through that door and tell me that I was only dreaming. You're not really gone as long as I believe. There will be another angel around the throne tonight. Your love lives on inside of me, and I will hold on tight. It's not my place to question, only God knows why. I'm just jealous of the angels around the throne tonight. Always made my troubles feel so small, and you were always there to catch me when I'd fall. In a world where heroes come and go, well, God just took the only one I know. So I'll hold you as close as I can, longing for the day when I see your face again. But until then, God must need another angel around the throne tonight. Your love lives on inside of me, and I will hold on tight. It's not my place to question, only God knows why. I'm just jealous of the angels around the throne tonight, singing hallelujah. I'm just jealous of the angels around the throne tonight.
Folks, at the end of the day, I don't think that anybody has to be perfect. Andeen was an imperfect angel in so many ways. So we will love you forever, and we will miss you. You will definitely remain in a special little section of our hearts. And we will continue to share our stories and memories of how you touched so many people and so many lives. 52 years old is young in this day and age. We feel like, you know, we were all jealous of the angels that you were taken away. But we're going to continue to uplift your family and remember them in our thoughts and our prayers. Thank you so much, Jackie, and everyone who's tuned in this morning. Thank you very, very much. We have a few minutes left. If you want to get a final call in, I'm happy to grab one or two more calls. And then so many of you asking to play that other song again, although it's only a partial song. I'm trying to see if we can get the artist to please finish that song because it really is beautiful. We'll play that one again as we end this segment of the program. And I encourage you to stay tuned because then I will play the minister's press conference just in case you missed it from Monday as I try to get on the road a little bit early to go and do some work. I've got some WhatsApp messages coming in. This person says they want to submit a song called Dancing in the Sky. Thank you so much for that. Another person says they want to hear People Like You by Gramps Morgan. Yeah, we can try to pull it up. I'm trying to be careful with copywriting music so that they don't block us. Thank you guys, however, for sending all these beautiful songs. This person says, morning, Miss Hale. My name is Angelique. I was in complete shock yesterday morning when I stepped out of the house and I saw the ambulance and police van at Andeen's place of residence, only to learn 1 minute later of her passing. Andeen and I were lifelong friends and lived together. We had kids days apart. We ate, danced, partied, and enjoy each other at all times. If I could have changed places with her, I would have, as I will forever love and miss her. Her jokes, her loud self, as I would often call her. May her soul rest in eternal peace. Condolences to her children, her mom, her sisters, her grandkids, friends, and other family members. Fly high, Andeen, until we meet again. Thank you so much, Angeline, for that message. And let me just confirm that, again, her nephew, Kieran Alexander Watlow, passed away on the 25th of April, quite ironically, literally 3 months to the date that his aunt passed away. And so we want to, again, extend condolences to all of her sisters. We have Josephine McHale, Rosemary Sanderson, Donna Sanderson Richards, Miss Nola Sanderson, and Miss Donna Yen, Vanessa McHale, Denisha Allen, Denise McHale, Desiree Ebanks, and everyone else in the family. So we wanted to also say on behalf of the class of 86, they're saying a sincere thank you for your respectful tribute of our beloved friend. We maintain close and almost daily communication with each other in our group chat, and Andeen's voice notes and messages will be missed. We loved her and she loved us. Rest in peace, Andeen. So that's coming again from her class of 86. So thank you so much for that. And they've actually shared a picture. I'm going to share this with you guys of her there celebrating with them, probably maybe one of the reunions. So there she is, front and center, class of 86. So our condolences to everyone there as well. Yeah. So someone confirms that Andeen was 14 years drug-free. May she rest in peace. Debbie, thank you, Debbie, says condolences to you and the family. A lot of people send love and flowers after a person's gone. She got your love and flowers when she was alive. God bless you. Thank you so much, folks. All right. This person says, how this brought tears to my eyes, remembering my mama Andeen, I can't believe she was so wasn't outspoken, wasn't afraid to say what was on her mind, knew her well, went to school with her sister Nola, here at my desk, and the tears are rolling down. All right, folks. Thank you very, very much. Let's go ahead and again enjoy this amazing song. Like I said, this artist, he hasn't really finished the song, but the verses that are there are just so powerful and so amazing. Perla sending love to all of the CMR family. Thank you so much. Miss Lucille says, love these songs. It's Leaking the Tears. The other song is to be released on the 28th. Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you so much, Jim. Audrey, thank you. Donna says, thanks for hosting this, Sandy. Very much appreciated. Thanks to everyone for such warm greetings. They too are much appreciated by the family. We love you all. All right, folks. So we'll end with this song again.
Well, I know you're up in heaven, but damn, it hurts like hell. 'Cause I'd just be pretending if I said anything else. And I know God don't make mistakes, but this sure feels like one. That won't change the facts, that won't bring you back. So I'll cry, 'cause it's over, and smile because we had you. Packed a whole lot of living, even though it ended all too soon. And in time I'll start healing, but even when I get that feeling, no matter where I go or what I do, I'll never not remember you.
The STEPS 2023 National Health Survey has been extended to September 3rd to maximise participation and give us the best data possible. If you've been chosen to participate, please say yes to Step 3. For more information, contact the STEPS team on 936 4969 or email mhwsteps@gov.ky.
For 20 years, we've committed to helping the people of the Cayman Islands live longer, healthier, and happier lives. But healthcare and the expectations of patients are rapidly evolving, and so must we. We have made incredible clinical and technological advancements and achieved JCI accreditation, the internationally recognized gold seal of approval for patient safety and quality of care. So it's time for our image to reflect our transformation from a local hospital to a world-class healthcare authority, with a new logo that symbolizes national duty and pride, a statement that reinforces our commitment to our patients every step of the way, with colors as bold as our mission to provide the highest quality healthcare. Dynamic, professional, skilled, committed, caring. This is HSA.
Now, y'all love Popeyes for my fried chicken, but the real ones also love my salty, flaky, covered in butter biscuits. Well, biscuit fans, have I got a treat for you. Introducing new irresistible strawberry biscuits at Popeyes. The perfect balance of salty and sweet thanks to decadent strawberry bits baked right in and mouth-watering creamy icing on top. The perfect dessert for just $2.29, or grab 6 pieces for $12.59.
Strawberry biscuits forever.
Not forever, I'm afraid, honey. Limited time only, and only at Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen on Eastern Avenue.
Ocean Ridge Heights offers an amazing opportunity to own a piece of land in idyllic Cayman Brac, right on the bluff, starting from $80,000. Located in a quiet residential area with high elevation, these lots are ideal for a future home or investment property and are sure to go fast. Cayman Brac offers a laid-back lifestyle, amazing pristine diving, limestone caves, diverse flora, along with amazing wildlife. Inquire about the owner financing options so that you can secure your piece of paradise today. With only a few lots remaining, these are sure to go before you know it. Contact Crichton Properties today on 345-949-5250 or info@CrichtonProperties.com.
Recover Personal Injury Attorneys, helping injured people get what they deserve. Did you know that insurance companies have lawyers that represent their interests? Before signing and accepting any settlement, know your rights. Call us today for a free consultation at 924-9999. That's 924-9999. Recover. Your personal injury attorneys are on standby to assist.
This announcement.
Tourism and Ports in the Cayman by Zoom link. And we will announce the newest Cayman Airways route by officials from the Ministry of Tourism and from the Cayman Airways Limited team. With us in studio today. I think we can try that again. All right, hello and welcome to today's press briefing held by the Ministry of Tourism and Ports. I'm Mona Lisa Mead, the PR officer for Ministry of Tourism and Ports in the Cayman Islands, and we're glad you're able to join us. We are today going to announce the newest Cayman Airways route by officials from Cayman Airways and the Ministry of Tourism and Ports and other guests. With us in studio today are our panelists, the Honourable Minister of Tourism and Ports in the Cayman Islands, the Minister Kenneth Bryan. Joining us by Zoom link is the Honourable Ian Gooding Edgehill, Minister of Tourism and International Transport, Barbados. Dr. John Paul Clark, Chairman of the Board of Directors, Cayman Airways Limited. Mr. Fabian Worms, the President and CEO of Cayman Airways Limited. Also joining us via Zoom link is the Chairman of the Barbados Tourism Marketing Incorporated, Ms. Shelley Williams. And we'd also like to acknowledge the presence of Acting Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism and International Transport, Ms. Francine Blackman, Acting CEO of the Barbados Tourism Marketing Incorporated, Mr. Craig Hines, CEO of the Grantley Adams International Airport, Mr. Hadley Bourne, Acting Director of Civil Aviation, Tracy Ford Bailey, CEO of the Barbados Aircraft and Aviation Services Company, Diane Sherland, Director of the Caribbean and Latin America at the Barbados Tourism Marketing Incorporated, Mr. Corey Garrett, our Chief Officer, Mr. Strand Bodden, in the Ministry of Tourism and Ports here in the Cayman Islands, senior staff and Ministry of the Tourism and Ports here in the Cayman Islands, and senior staff of Cayman Airways Limited as well. We have also joining us by Zoom and here in the studio, members of the media from the Cayman Islands and from Barbados and across the region. I would like to invite Minister Bryan now to bring his remarks.
Thank you, Mona, and good morning to everyone, and thank you guys for joining us here at this amazing press conference. I'm pleased to be addressing you once again to update you on the latest announcement in an impressive series of milestones for our country, which I'm happy to bring to you in collaboration with our national flag carrier, Cayman Airways. But first, I would like to extend a warm welcome to the Honourable Ian Gooding Edgehill, the Minister for Tourism and International Transport for Barbados, who joins us today virtually, as you heard, via Zoom. And he is a key partner and stakeholder with respect to this significant announcement this morning. Today, in my capacity as the Minister for Tourism with responsibility for Cayman Airways, and as the Chairman of the Caribbean Tourism Organization, I'm very excited to announce the introduction of a new direct airline service between two beautiful and vibrant Caribbean destinations, the Cayman Islands and Barbados. The launch of this new route between the Owen Roberts International Airport and Grantley Adams International Airport represents a significant departure from the norm for Cayman Airways. It is a part of our broader route diversification strategy aimed at expanding global connectivity and maximizing our fleet. I've asked the Honorable Dr. John Paul Clark, who I find to be a very honorable man in my esteem, the chairman of the Cayman Airways Board of Directors, to be the lead on this strategy. His leadership and guidance have been helping us to transform Cayman Airways since his appointment in 2022. For the benefit of those listeners and viewers who may not be familiar with Dr. Clark and his background, he is a professor of aerospace engineering and engineering mechanics at the University of Texas in Austin. He is also a member of the NASA Advisory Council and holds not one, not two, but 3 degrees from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, better known as MIT. Dr. Clark has consulted extensively throughout his academic career and is a recognized expert in several fields, with a particular focus on aviation. In addition to being the chair of the Board of Directors for Cayman Airways Limited, he is also the co-founder and member of the Board of Directors for the Universal Hydrogen Company, which is an aviation and aerospace company focused on using hydrogen to achieve carbon-free flights. Noting that this is the 3rd major route launch for Cayman Airways in the last year, I would like to take a few moments to explain some of the reasons why this decision has been made to expand into the Eastern Caribbean market. Until now, Cayman Airways route expansions to international destinations outside of the United States have traditionally been places like Jamaica, Honduras, and Cuba, just to name a few. This is the first time that a scheduled service is being offered to a destination in the Eastern Caribbean as a part of the strategy to expand connectivity to the north, south, east, and west. To explain that in a little bit more depth, if you can imagine a map of the world with the Cayman Islands being positioned at the center of it, the vision is to expand the airline's connectivity to key locations situated to the north, south, east, and west of our islands. And we've been working hard to achieve that objective. With the United States serving as our primary source market for tourism, connections to the north via Miami, Tampa, New York, and a host of other United States gateways have long been well established. Last month, we went south, resuming service to Panama and strengthening our connectivity into the Latin American markets, such as Brazil, Argentina, and Colombia. Prior to that, Cayman Airways went west, offering service to Los Angeles, aimed at penetrating the West Coast market and connecting to markets such as Asia and Oceania, while maximizing the aircraft for the long-haul flights. And now we turn our attention to the east, southeast to be precise, to the Eastern Caribbean market. Dr. Clark will speak more about how this strategy has and will impact our global connectivity, but suffices to say, this new service to Barbados is a game changer for the regional connectivity. It will deliver a faster and cheaper alternative for traveling between the Cayman Islands and Barbados than any other currently existing routes on the market. It will make it possible to travel from one side of the Caribbean to the other within the same day without connecting through Miami. I know that for all the Bajans on island and Caribbean nationals here who call these islands home, this unprecedented level of connectivity will be welcomed news. And on arrival in Barbados, direct flights are available from the Grantley Adams International Airport to other islands such as Antigua, Dominica, Grenada, Guyana, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and Trinidad and Tobago, making travel up and down the chain of the Caribbean islands most effortless. From a strategic standpoint, the Cayman-Barbados route will deliver several key benefits that will help to improve our competitive advantage. For example, This will allow visitors from several currently underserved European markets, such as Germany and Finland, to access the Cayman Islands more directly. It will expand our island's reach within the United Kingdom by adding connectivity from major airports in addition to the current BA service from London Heathrow. As well as offering better flight times through various gateways, it will allow us to grow incremental tourism and will improve Cayman Airways' ability to increase revenue from seats. Operationally, this new route will also facilitate the introduction of a second weekly flight to Los Angeles, which I'm very excited about, and the offering of a red-eye service enabling Owen Roberts International Airport to be more fully utilized outside of peak hours. Many of you may have heard me speak about the importance of using our airport more effectively over longer periods of time throughout the day and night. This is a strategic imperative that I'm keen to see addressed, and the additional LAX service will be a significant first step in that direction. Aside from enhancing travel connectedness and convenience, the Cayman Barbados Direct Service and the second LAX service in particular will function as the catalyst for economic growth and business development. Improving our frequency to Los Angeles will have a positive impact on our tourism and financial services sectors by providing more efficient connections through Asia. In just a moment, I will invite Minister Gooding Edgehill to speak on the anticipated benefits for Barbados. However, I feel confident in saying that together we envision an increase in visitors from the UK and Europe who will contribute to both our economies. While the benefits from these new services are expected to be vast and transformative at a macroeconomic level, on the softer side of things and that of that equation, I'd like to talk about what benefit it has for us to strengthening our cultural ties between Barbados and the Cayman Islands. I hope that increasing opportunities for interactions will foster a deeper understanding and appreciation for each other's traditions, foods, music, and customs, and will build stronger bridges between our communities that create lasting connections on a more personal level. In conclusion, I would like to extend my sincere appreciation to all of those who have been instrumental in making this new service a reality, particularly my regional friend and counterpart minister, Ian Gooden Edgehill, and his team in Barbados. To my team here, Chairman Clark, the Board of Directors, and the management and staff at Cayman Airways, and to everyone on my team in the ministry and the Department of Tourism who've been working tirelessly behind the scenes to bring about this game-changing travel experience to our visitors and residents alike. I will leave my colleagues on the panel to speak about the dates and times and frequency of service, and I will bring my remarks to a close by saying that I am of the view that by embracing this opportunity, we're not only investing in our prosperity of both countries, but also the unity and the progress for the entire Caribbean region. I see this service as paving a way for more connected and prosperous future for the entire region. As representatives and members of those two magnificent islands, Cayman Islands and Barbados, I'm thrilled that we have been able to work together to make this vision a reality. Thank you, Mona.
Thank you, Minister. We will now hear from Minister Gooding Edgehill.
Thank you. Good morning. First of all, Minister of Tourism and Ports, Cayman Islands, the Honorable Kenneth Bryan, also Chairman of the Caribbean Tourism Organization. Let me, first of all, acknowledge you, and I will say thank you in the most fulsome way later on. We have with us here in Barbados our Acting Permanent Secretary, Ms. Nicole Taylor, who's deputizing for a substantive PS, who's on vacation, Ms. Francine Blackman. Also have with us the Chairman of the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc., Mrs. Shelley Williams, and to acknowledge Chairman of the Board of the Cayman Islands, Dr. John Paul Clark, the Chief Executive of the Cayman Islands Airways Limited, Fabian Worms, our acting Chief Executive Officer of the BTMI, is in Barbados with us, specially invited guests, members of the media. Indeed, Barbados is pleased by the announcement of this new service, direct flight from Barbados to the Cayman Islands commencing October 18th. We've worked diligently over the past few months to bring this route to fruition, and I believe that this partnership with Cayman Airways Limited could not have come at a better time for destination Barbados. If the past is any indication, I'm sure that this service will prove successful, as Barbados has previously partnered with Cayman Airways to provide a charter service between Barbados and the Cayman Islands. We have studied those successful charters, and they have been the backbone of the establishment of this service beginning later this year. The Barbadian diaspora in the Cayman Islands is large, and I have no doubt that the announcement of this direct flight is pleasing for many. I am told that the commute between the two islands is currently quite tedious, with the added layovers and passing through the United States of America. Thankfully, with the start of this new route in October, that long commute will be a thing of the past. Additionally, this service is timely as it is set to begin in time for the Barbados Food and Rum Festival in October, which is one of our marquee events on Barbados's packed calendar of events. The Cayman Airways service begins October 18th, and the Barbados Food and Rum Festival runs from October 19th to the 22nd. I must pause here and ask you to allow me to take this opportunity to personally extend invitations to all Caymanians and the Barbadian diaspora residing in the Cayman Islands to visit Barbados on this inaugural service to experience the 12th edition of the Barbados Food and Rum Festival. Tickets are already on sale on our website at www.foodandrum.com, and you're all welcome to join us here in Barbados. In my capacity as Minister of Tourism and International Transport, one of my goals has been to work towards increasing airlift to Barbados as the demand continues to grow. We recently announced Bahamas Air on a chartered basis, and a few days ago, and that now coincides with this announcement with Cayman Airways, you are seeing our commitment to intra-regional travel, and I thank you, Minister Kenneth Bryan, for all that you've done to assist us with regional travel. This agreement with the Cayman Islands is a step in the right direction for destination Barbados, as we look to further increase connectivity in the region and open up opportunities for Barbadians to travel to the Northern Caribbean and vice versa. Our reports continue to reveal that the Caribbean market is gaining momentum as airlift increases throughout the region. While we are getting back to our pre-2019 levels, many of our Caribbean airline partners are steadily increasing capacity as quickly and as logically as possible, bearing in mind the challenges the airline industry is battling with globally with respect to securing enough aircraft to meet the demand. We as a ministry and as a destination will continue to work to increase our airlift options to ensure that Barbados remains connected with the US, the Caribbean, and beyond. Earlier this month, in Parliament, I successfully piloted the Airport Service Charge Act, the Amendment Act, which reduced the airport service charge for CARICOM travelers, which Caymanians can benefit from until December 14th of this year. I believe that this amendment will further inspire intra-regional travel, as high airfares have been a challenge for the tourism recovery globally. Let me also say that the opportunities with the Cayman Airways will be for Barbados to be used as a hub connection for the Eastern Caribbean and for onward connections to the Northern Caribbean. Based on my recent travels, I can say with confidence that the demand for destination Barbados is strong and growing. We will therefore continue to aggressively market the island and secure partnerships that complement our efforts. We look forward to welcoming Cayman Airways in October and to the strengthening of our relationship with the Cayman Islands government. I know that the Barbados Tourism Marketing led by Chairman Shelley Williams, who has been instrumental in negotiating with the Cayman Airways, will be present in the market promoting Barbados, the Food and Rum Festival, and the like. I want at this time to especially thank the chairman of the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc., Mrs. Shelley Williams, whose consistent dedication, drive, passion, and commitment made this a reality. I also wish to thank Dr. John Paul Clark for his dedication, commitment, and passion in delivering this experience. At that level, they both worked well, and I really had to pay a tribute to Mrs. Shelley Williams and Dr. John Paul Clark. Minister, you are not to be excluded. From the time we had discussions, you were there with us. We had lengthy discussions at the CTO meeting, and you too were part of that vision. You understood the mission as you clearly articulated in your speech. You reached out, you put the necessary resources there for us to make this a reality. And I really want to say to you, Minister, not only your capacity as chairman of the CTO and for the excellent work you continue to do on behalf of the Caribbean tourism as leader and chairman of the CTO, I really want to thank you for this initiative. Without you, I know this would not have been possible, and I thank you on behalf of Barbados. On behalf of the government of Barbados, we thank Cayman Airways for their partnership and wish all players all the very best as we make this a reality. And not to be forgotten, we will, as I indicated, we will be putting our marketing resources behind this new route to make this a reality and to sustain excellent load factors. I thank you.
Thank you, Minister Gooding Adjil. I will call now on Chairman Clark to say his remarks.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Minister Bryan and Minister Goodhill, for that kind introduction. As the Minister indicated, I'm John Paul Clark, and I have the privilege of having served as Chairman of the Board of Cayman Airways for the past year. During that time, we at Cayman Airways have, amongst other things, had a renewed focus on route development. And in this regard, we've achieved some significant milestones. Our service to Los Angeles, which we launched last November, was at the time the first non-stop flight from the West Coast of the United States to the Caribbean. Others have followed, but we were first. I think it's interesting to note that in addition to bringing Los Angeles closer in terms of flight time to Cayman than it is to Hawaii, this route provides vastly improved connectivity to other places on the West Coast of the United States and to Asia and Oceania. Our service to Panama, which we relaunched just a month ago in the form of twice weekly flights to and from Panama, and which makes it easy for people to travel between Panama and Cayman for business or for a long weekend, is accompanied by what we describe in the airline industry as a robust interline agreement with Copa Airlines. What this means is that passengers can get all their boarding passes when they check in for their flights, and their bags, they can check their bags seamlessly to and from a wide array of destinations in Central America and South America, via arguably one of the easiest airports in the world to connect through. And today, we announced the launch of our service to Barbados. Specifically, 2 flights per week to and from Barbados. As Minister Bryan stated, traditionally at Cayman Airways, in the Caribbean, we've flown to our closest neighbors, Jamaica, Cuba, Honduras. This new flight to Barbados offers a new place in the Caribbean for folks in the Cayman to go and visit and to conduct business more easily. Going to Barbados, we're going to be offering one-stop connections to a plethora of Eastern Caribbean countries, starting in the north with Antigua, Dominica, not to be forgotten, Martinique, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, Tobago, and Trinidad. I like to switch the order just to make the Trinis for Trinidad, change it up, and of course to Guyana. Lots of places where we have lots of people living in Cayman, and lots of places where we do business. Also, with our long-standing interline agreement with Virgin Airways, we will have the only one-stop itinerary, of course, with convenient baggage check-through between Manchester International Airport in England and Cayman, which means we now have a one-stop service to the British Midlands, which is a place for which we have great interest from a tourism perspective. We'll also be providing a second flight to and from Los Angeles, a midweek flight. You heard about the red-eye flight. And this opens up even greater convenience for passengers returning from Asia, because then we can, when they come in, they can just come directly home. Our morning departure to LA is not as convenient as this would be. It also opens up greater connectivity on the West Coast. And all of this means incremental revenue, which in my book is always a good thing. And I should add, the partnership with Barbados helps us to mitigate the risk associated with adding this new flight. And so we all benefit together by this partnership. The mission And all of this means incremental revenue, which in my book is always a good thing. And I should add, the partnership with Barbados helps us to mitigate the risk associated with adding this new flight. And so we all benefit together by this partnership. The mission of Cayman Airways, and for the record, this is in my own words, is to provide the people of the Cayman Islands with the cost-effective connectivity they need to conduct business, visit friends and families, and vacation, and to provide the world with cost-effective connectivity to get here to conduct business, visit friends and families, and most importantly, I'm sure from the minister's perspective and the Department of Tourism and Ports and the Ministry of Tourism and Ports and Department of Tourism, satisfy the world's desire to enjoy our three islands experience with our wonderful beaches, cultural iconic sites, vibrant culinary scene, and of course, our people, culture, and heritage. We in the Cayman Islands are fortunate to have a national airline that can be strategically used to drive tourism. Although we receive government support to meet the strategic objectives, and trust me, this support is vital to us at Cayman Airways, my fellow board members and I believe that our mandate is to generate additional revenue and thereby achieve profitability. To this end, we have made calculated and deliberate decisions with respect to our network and schedule, and these decisions are already bearing fruit. Year to date, our performance in terms of load factors and revenue have been the best or close to the best in our history. For the first 6 months of 2023, we had passenger revenue of $34 million, a 22% increase over 2019, and a new company record. We transported over 200,000 passengers, and we had an average load factor of 57.3%, which ties the previous record, but that load factor was based on aircraft with 24% less seats. So you can see that we're doing well. On Los Angeles, our average load factor is just shy of 61%. We've transported just shy of 5,000 passengers, and we're generally performing better than we anticipated when we actually launched the route. In Panama, the average load factor for revenue passengers, obviously we had a launch flight, so is around 62.3%, and the flights are doing well again. Looking forward, we have over 65,000 passengers already holding bookings for the next several months, including 2,600 plus passengers to LA and 2,700 plus passengers to Panama. These results solidify Cayman Airways is a thriving and growing national airline, and also shows that our strategy is to leverage our international partnerships via our gateway destination. And we're not done yet. The commercial subcommittee of the board, along with the EVP for Finance and Commercial and his team, are all constantly reviewing revenue opportunities and destination opportunities, and looking for ways to strategically expand our offerings. And as you might expect, we're looking forward to 2024. And we hope to be able to share some more details with you in the coming months. But for now, I will just share that we're looking to add 2 new U.S. destinations, both less than 4 hours away by flight time. And we're also looking to add some more partnerships, interline agreements, which we'll be announcing later in the year. All what we're doing to increase connectivity and make the best use of what we have and the friends we have and the partnerships we have, as indicated by our announcement today. With that, thank you, and back to you.
Thank you, Chairman Clark. We'll turn now to CEO of Cayman Airways, Mr. Fabian Worms.
Good morning to everyone in Cayman, the Cayman Islands, and also Barbados. With Cayman Airways being an airline which is proudly owned by the Cayman Islands government, and one which has been strategically used for the last 55 years by successive governments to operate routes which would benefit the Cayman Islands in one way or another, Cayman Airways is now pleased to serve again by supporting the Cayman Islands government, its sole shareholder, in this collaboration with the government of Barbados, which will undoubtedly result in improved airlift across the Caribbean region and beyond. We're currently working with the relevant regulatory and operational support agencies to ensure that the required approvals for operation and sale of the flights can commence soon. The scheduled start dates are now therefore tentative at this point and subject to change. But we are aiming, as Minister Edgehill Gooding said, for a start date of October 18th, and we expect to have everything in place for tickets to go on sale in early to mid-August. We're currently working with a draft schedule, as I indicated, but this schedule will have 2 midweek rotations back-to-back from Barbados, between Barbados and Grand Cayman. These rotations will be on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Our team is currently working to optimize the flight times, to maximize connections with other Cayman Airways flights, and to also facilitate great connectivity from Barbados to the Eastern Caribbean and Europe. The flight times on the days that we're tentatively scheduled to fly are as follows. On a Wednesday morning at 7 a.m., a flight will depart from Grand Cayman to Barbados and arrive at the Grantley Adams International Airport at 11:10 a.m. in the morning. The aircraft will remain on the ground in Barbados until 12:25 Barbados time, and that's when the flight to Grand Cayman will depart. It will arrive here at 2:45 in the afternoon. That flight will then connect with the second Los Angeles frequency that we're adding, which departs Grand Cayman at 3:45 in the afternoon and arrives in Los Angeles at 7:45 local time Los Angeles, 7:45 p.m. That aircraft will that aircraft will then turn around at 11:30 at night in Los Angeles and operate what's referred to in the industry as a red-eye flight. So it departs Los Angeles at 11:30 p.m. at night, flies through the night, and arrives in Grand Cayman at 7 a.m. on Thursday morning. On Thursday morning, we have our second weekly flight going to Barbados, which will depart Grand Cayman at 10 a.m. and arrive in Barbados at 2:10 local time. The flight will then spend some time on the ground to facilitate our connections to and from airlines like Virgin and other carriers, and then depart Barbados at 4:50 in the evening and arrive in Grand Cayman at 7:10 local. Again, these flight times are still being tweaked, but we wanted to give an indication of what the flow would look like and illustrate the connectivity of these 2 Barbados flights with the Los Angeles rotation that we have from Grand Cayman sandwiched in the middle to provide connectivity. I'm available to answer any questions operationally, but that's the end of my remarks.
All right, we will now then, thank you so much, Mr. Moore. We'll now open the floor to the media. I'll ask Mr. Ralph Lewis from the Caymanian Times to ask his questions. As he's coming to the podium, I will ask all members of the media to please limit your questions to two questions, please, as we do have quite a few members of the media online to ask questions. Thank you. Mr. Lewis.
Thank you, Mona, and good morning to the members of the panel. It's a lot to digest. It's a short time, and I have lots of questions, but I'll stick with my 2. Mr., if you don't mind, the first question is yours, and the second is Mr. Dr. Paul. Based on the new plans, is it the long-term strategy for Cayman Airways to increase its activity or its service to the Eastern Caribbean, and by then encouraging more Eastern Caribbean natives to come over to this side of the Western Caribbean?
Most naturally. Any travel is good travel for the airline. Obviously, we have the cultural connectivity, which I think we should embrace. Cayman is a melting pot already as it is, and I would love to see more Eastern Caribbean nationals here. We've grown tremendously as a population, but it's been mainly of Europeans and Northern Americans. So I think it would be good for us to have growth and visitation from visitors who have similarities in our background, our culture, and heritage. So yes is simply the answer to that.
Okay. Dr. Paul, the aircraft are going to be very busy. Do we have enough equipment or enough to make all of these flights?
So I will say the aircraft are busy on the weekends. Okay. Right. During the week, not as busy. In fact, we actually have the spare capacity during the week, which we tend to use for charters here and there as they come up. But really during the week, it fits well in. And the other thing is that with the red eye, the airplane will not be taken out of service for an entire day. Our current schedule, we go to LA, then the airplane overnights over there and comes back during the day. So the red eye, the airplane will be back into circulation as well.
And the second part of that question was, will we be dropping any routes that we come into?
Nothing to be dropped. Listen, we have a framework, as you might expect from a nerd, the nerd that I am. We have a framework where we look at the trade-offs associated with different routes, with profitability, etc. This, because it's happening during the week when we're not pressed. And we will have the ability to do it without dropping anything else.
Thank you very much, Mona. That's my two questions.
We'll call now on Norma Connolly from the Cayman Compass.
Good morning, all. I'll give my couple of questions. Minister Gooding Edgehill mentioned about reducing the airport tax to incentivize people to travel to Barbados. Is that something Cayman is considering to incentivize more travelers to come from other areas of the Caribbean? I know the whole tax issue at airports has been one of the major factors and major obstacles in interconnectivity between Caribbean islands. So I wonder if there's been more discussion about that. Might we be doing something similar here? And might Barbados be considering expanding the reduction of their taxes?
The Cayman Islands is not currently examining that as an option. We still have a lot of improvements to do at the airport, and we need every penny we can get to make sure that the service is excellent and the standards are what is Cayman standards. So not at this moment.
Okay. I wonder if Minister Gooding Edgehill could also address that question about whether they would consider expanding the reduction. I know he said it was going to continue until December to help.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you for the question. The government of Barbados made a decision that with effect until July the 14th of this year, we would have reduced the tax, and that tax has been reduced. Obviously, the rationale behind the reduction was to stimulate travel within the region to Barbados. And that is a government strategy. We believe it's going to work to advantage. I cannot at this time confirm to you that we will extend it. That is a decision that has to be made by the cabinet. It's a policy position. But where we're at right now is that we have clearly communicated that from July until December the 14th of this year, that the reduction will remain in place. We will have an evaluation to see obviously what were the key benefits, takeaways from it, whether it addresses the rationale of stimulating travel through, and whether we need to continue or we need to go back and adjust it to where it was. But that's an ongoing review that we have to undertake in Barbados before we make any further policy announcements in that respect.
Okay, thank you. Is Cayman Airways moving into a position of being the regional carrier? We seem to be adding on new routes and establishing ourselves in that capacity. Is this something that you're thinking of? this the beginning of a whole wide opening up of the region through Cayman Airways?
I wouldn't say necessarily a regional carrier. I say that we're making strategic decisions to make sure that we can maximize our connectivity to the Cayman Islands. What you see today here is a mutual benefit route, not only to Barbados, but to the Cayman Islands. I think it's probably best to explain it like this. Barbados would like to have people coming from the West Coast of the United States, and the Cayman Islands would like to have a lot more people coming from Europe. So with the amazing airport they have in Barbados and the amazing airport we have here in the Cayman Islands, it allows a one-stop opportunity for us to cross-promote to get visitors to our own islands. So obviously my department of tourism can tweak their advertising strategies where the route structure is now convenient due to this connectivity through Barbados. And vice versa, I suspect that Minister from Barbados will do the same for connectivity to Barbados through Los Angeles. So it's a mutual benefit route. We have done our traditional regional areas like Cuba, Jamaica, Honduras, but we only have a certain amount of planes that we can operate. And the reason why this decision was taken was that it was done during the week where space and availability was there. We wouldn't have been able to announce such a route to Barbados if it was on the weekend, because our flights are in full capacity at source markets, which is necessary for our tourism product and our local business travel. So I wouldn't say that we are becoming the regional flag carrier, but where it's beneficial for the Cayman Islands and beneficial for the other Caribbean islands that we can all win, then yes, we'll do so, as long as it's not a loss to our national flag carrier company.
Is there a price yet for how much the flights are going to be?
We're still working on our pricing models, but the minister in his opening remarks did mention that our fares will be lower than what obtains now if someone has to choose one of the traditional routes, which is typically to go over Miami. So you'll have a combination of lower fares with a direct flight to Barbados from Grand Cayman.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ms. Connolly. I'll call now on April Cummings from Radio Cayman.
Hi there, everyone. One question really any of you or all of you can answer. It's really just how are you going to define success on this? What does that look like in terms of numbers or revenue? How will you know this is working as intended?
I'll take a jab at this, then the chairman and the CEO can add to it. Where I see success is the second LA flight being having the loads necessary for it to be sustainable. Obviously, the Barbados team will cross-promote in the best interest of having persons from the West Coast get to Barbados. Having more than one flight from Los Angeles allows it more convenient for the Cayman Islands, particularly the business to traveler. Right now, we are operating on a 6-day trip to the Cayman Islands. Some business travelers usually take 3 to 4 days when they can wrap up their business and go back. So this second flight will be beneficial to us in that way. And I think that obviously we're doing well now with our current flight, but with the addition of a new one and different options, it will have an effect on the first flight. And we believe that the other seats that will continue on to Barbados, not only through the Los Angeles, but through other places, will help to facilitate the Barbados flight as well from a numbers perspective. So we have every reason to believe, after looking at the numbers, that the success will be the loads will be enough that the plane will make a profit and not a loss. The other success factor is, after looking at quarterlies and half-year marks, and after this first initial flight for a full year, to see our numbers from particular gateways in Europe increase. It's a part of my ministry and the Department of Tourism diversification strategy to increase the percentages of visitors from different areas. And we learned a valuable lesson during COVID is that you don't want all your eggs in one basket. And that's the overall strategy of the Go East, North, West, and South, that regardless of what's happening geopolitical or natural disaster, that we can have connectivity to make sure our tourism product continues to work.
Fair enough.
Gentlemen, you want to add to that?
No, I'll just add that, one of the things that we've seen since introducing Los Angeles is that a number of people will come on our flight on the weekend and then they go back on somebody else. Or they'll come on somebody else and go back on us on the weekend. So this midweek flight allows us to offer a product that keeps them on us, which is what we want. It's also with the partnership with Barbados, it benefits them, but it's also a good partnership, as the minister said, where we can get the loads between us to make it a profitable, the loads and the fares between us to make the route profitable. So again, it's all about making a good partnership and making it a win-win situation. So we have some in the back of my mind, obviously I have some measures of success on that. But we have targets that we'd like. There's a load factor that we have based on our numbers and fares that we have internally as targets, and so we'll be tracking against those.
And I said one question, but two. Because Mr. Minister Bryan has dual roles, how does this align with the things you've been doing in terms of regional connectivity? I've heard you talk a great deal about that. How well does this support your initiatives in that direction?
It does. It meets the mark of my ambitions as chairman to give greater connectivity to the region. But I'm always Minister of Tourism of the Cayman Islands first before anything else. And the Cayman Airways is a company owned by the Caymanian people. So as long when the discussion and negotiations with Minister came up, I said, I'll be happy to facilitate as much as possible as long as it's not at the detriment of the taxpayers' money. And we were able to sit down and look at the numbers and see where it was beneficial for both sides. So I'm happy to be able to check both boxes as Minister of Tourism for the Cayman Islands and increasing the connectivity for the region. I think that my colleagues from the other Caribbean islands are going to be also very happy. I couldn't tell them anything until we both, as ministers for Barbados and Cayman, announced this, but we think it's going to facilitate that more connectivity rather than depending on the North American airlines, which sometimes can control the pricing. I think that this works well for the Caribbean. And you've got to think not only about leisure travel, but whether it's trade, whether it's visitation to family members, that we all have some connectivity to the Caribbean in some way, shape, or form. So I'm just excited to be able to do it. I think it meets both check marks, and I know I'm doing the commitment to the Caymanian people first.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, April. I have a question from Alric Lindsay from Loop Caribbean. It might be something that is pointed to both Minister Gooding Edgehill and possibly also Mr. Clark as it relates to any market research. So the question is, or can you speak to market research or the analysis that was conducted to determine the feasibility and demand for this destination? You could just expand on that.
Well, I will say that most of for us here, we did, and we were considering a second flight. Obviously, when you consider a second flight, you do what you call, potential spill on other flights and recapture, and also increase revenue, as I was saying, from bringing people who were going back on other airlines. And we were discussing at the board level for a while, when it was the right time for us to go into LA. And, we had not planned to go right now, but as the minister indicated, this partnership works, and it allowed us to bring forward the addition of this second flight. And so certainly from our perspective, we expect to see greater loads coming to Cayman from there. And we have some estimates of that. Separately, the government of Barbados, especially BTMI, have been doing their analysis, and they feel, while we have not been privy to the details of their analysis, they have exuded great confidence in the fact that this market will be very beneficial for them. And there's also connectivity as well, obviously, because the Jamaica and Havana are the places where people in Barbados will travel through, and now we'll be traveling through here to get to as well. And so we've done our numbers, and we believe that it will be beneficial to us in incremental revenue. And based on the number and the analysis and the results that they provided from Barbados, that together we'll be able to achieve profitability.
Will there be any remarks from the minister or the BTMI team in Barbados on that question?
Yeah, thank you very much. I believe that John Paul Clark made the correct assessment. And let me also make this point. In my short tenure as Minister of Tourism, airlines don't appoint aircraft to routes that are likely to lose money. That's the first thing. Of course, we have done our research here in Barbados through BTMI, but the bottom line for us is connectivity. And the points that I stressed during my presentation, it is a wonderful opportunity for the flight to allow persons from the Eastern Caribbean to connect on Cayman, to go to Cayman and to go beyond the Cayman, and vice versa. So it's a wonderful opportunity for us. We are confident. We have in the past done some chartered flights from Cayman into Barbados. Those were successful. And when we look at our data and we look and see where we need to drive additional airlift and where we need to drive additional traffic, Cayman, and based on the availability of aircraft, because that's another major challenge within the aviation industry. They have lack of sometimes aircraft to do what you want to do. And as you heard the chairman Cayman making the point, Airways making the point, that they had capacity. We are going to put our marketing resources behind the gateway to ensure that this is successful. But there's also another opportunity working with our other Caribbean islands in the Eastern Caribbean to facilitate gateway travel through Barbados to onward destinations, and like I said, vice versa. So we are confident that this will do well, and of course we know that this will definitely help us in terms of both governments, by the way, Cayman and Barbados, in bridging that aviation gap. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Gooding Edgehill. I'll turn now to Sandra Hill of Cayman Marl Road. Do you have some questions? No questions from Cayman Marl Road today. I do have a question from reporter Brian Major from Travel Pulse. He's asked a question on intra-Caribbean connectivity. I think this question may have been answered, but I'll ask anyway. Intra-Caribbean connectivity and high Caribbean airline fares have been hot issues in the industry, as you know. How does this agreement impact those issues?
Well, post-COVID, many airlines have reduced their routes, particularly within the Caribbean region. A number of that has to do with restructuring of airline companies, as well as the limitation on pilots, cost of fuel, and a lot of different factors. So many of the ones we traditionally depend on from Northern America hasn't come back into the market. And it's obviously had a major effect in the Caribbean region, as all of our Caribbean islands depend heavily on tourism, whether it's the primary economic driver or the secondary economic driver like us here in Cayman. So being able to use regional airlines, whether it's Cayman Airways or Bahamas Air or Caribbean Airways, to help facilitate within the region, because when we keep the attention from a tourism perspective to the global audience, that the Caribbean is a place to visit. When you say the Caribbean, it depends on how lucky you are. So you want to get people to say, look at the Caribbean. But when you look at the Caribbean, look at Cayman, or look at the Caribbean, look at Barbados. So the connectivity availability allows for all of us to succeed in respect to this. So again, taking one part of the box from a chairman of the Caribbean Tourism Organization to facilitate this, but more importantly, the economic opportunities from business, trade, and leisure travel for the Cayman Islands tourism product. So I think this only helps. I think by adding this to the market, it may even reduce the prices of other airlines that are currently serving into the Caribbean. The more competition that is there, it brings down the pricing. And I think that this direct service from Cayman to Barbados to the Eastern Caribbean will be a game changer. There's no other place that will be able to have that seamless connectivity to the Eastern Caribbean from another Caribbean island. So I'm very happy to be involved there.
Thank you, Minister. I do have Wendy Ledger also online from Cayman News Service. She will ask her questions live. Miss Wendy.
Thank you very much, Mona. I've got my two questions ready. The first one is this partnership, does it involve Barbados contributing financially in any way, given what they're getting access to with what would be effectively a flight to Los Angeles via Cayman?
Wendy, unfortunately, I'm not allowed to talk about the contract itself in respect to the arrangement with Cayman Airways as well as the authority in Barbados. So legally, I can't answer that question. I wish I could, but I can't.
Oh, okay. And given that it's still public money, though, at some point, will you be able to reveal that?
If I am legally allowed to, again, I'm transparent to the people's taxes. Some things are protected for contractual reasons and proprietary information and so forth. But I can promise the Cayman Islands people is this. The Cayman Islands will not lose in any capacity.
Okay. And the second question is, given that European travelers can already fly to Miami direct from a gazillion different destinations in Europe and then have a 45-minute flight down to here, why would they want to do it through Barbados?
Well, I personally believe that the data shows that there's a lot of people who fly through Barbados. And you also have multi-destination Caribbean tourism, where you can spend a few days in Barbados, spend a few days in the Cayman Islands. And you have visa restrictions as well, whereby people can't go to the United States because they don't have a visa. So when you add up the little pieces of information together, you start to see that there is a pocket of percentage that we can tap into that we're not currently tapping into. And the more routes you have to your destination, as long as they're profitable and they're not loss makers, it increases your opportunity from a tourism perspective. And what our job to do as minister, as the chairman of the board, as the CEO for the airline, is to take this analysis and come to a conclusion on every issue. Now, what the public sometimes doesn't hear is when we do an analysis on a route and say, no, that route doesn't make sense. We work really hard on analyzing the data, and that's why I'm so happy to have the chairman on here. His vast experience and background in respect to this area tells us that we're going to be successful. And most importantly, not a loss, because sometimes, even though you may not be making a profit, as long as you're not making a loss, the country makes a profit, because the tourism component, the working opportunities, the taxes that they spend at the hotels, the rooms that they rent or the cars that they rent, the fuel that they purchase. So we make money on the other end. Again, I always try to remind people that Cayman Airways is not some people see it as an expense and loss. It's an economic accelerator. Its job is to help us not only give connectivity to our local residents, but to facilitate tourism injection within our islands.
Thank you. Can I just sneak one in for Mr. Fabian about when we're going to Vegas, please?
I didn't know we were going to Vegas. Did you?
I am still trying to figure out how that rumor came about.
Well, it's because we all want to go put our pension money on rent. That's the only way we're going to survive.
I think you actually have a very easy way to get to Las Vegas using our Los Angeles flight. There, I think there are flights leaving from Los Angeles to Las Vegas on the hour, and they're short flights.
Yeah, that's.
But the drive is nice, though, Wendy. I will tell you. I used to live in LA.
It's 5 hours. 5 hours is too long. Through the desert.
I mean, if you want to, go to Vegas for the obvious reasons, you can always take our Panama flight, which they offer quite similarly, same situations in Panama. So if not Vegas, you can take a less than 2-hour flight to Panama and get the same results. So I'm not suggesting that what you want to go there for, but that's on a personal level. Is there any international?
I do believe we have Ms. Phillips from the CBC. I'm getting a message. Are they still online from the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation?
Hi, Mona. Apologies that they had to drop off. So as soon as they're back on, we would advise, or any questions they have, we will forward.
Okay, thank you so much. I'll give at this point, then I'll ask Minister, the Honourable Minister Gooding Edgehill to give his final remarks.
Thank you very much. First of all, Minister Bryan, let me thank you on behalf of the Ministry of Tourism and certainly the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc. Let me also thank Dr. John Paul Clark and of course your CEO, Mr. Fabian Worm. This exercise this morning further cements the relationship between both countries, Cayman Islands and Barbados. The fact that we were able to negotiate and bring this to a conclusion where we're going to have a scheduled service into Barbados commencing in October, of course, subject to all the regulatory controls which we anticipate that will happen. It is an exciting opportunity for us. It is for Barbados to continue to build out the Eastern Caribbean as a hub for travel. It's an opportunity for us as well to leverage additional visitors who would wish to benefit from multi-destinational travel. It's an opportunity for us to increase our visitor stays in Barbados, as well as, of course, to increase visitor spend. We believe that this partnership will work very well for us as a country. It will also work very well for the Cayman government. We are fully appraised of the situation with respect to how we intend to execute this arrangement. And as I indicated earlier, the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc. will be doing significant marketing behind the gateway in order for us to make this a successful joint venture and partnership. I really want to say once again a big thank you to my chairman of the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc., who is very much actively, I may add, involved in the discussions with you, Dr. John Paul Clark, and other members of the team. This has been a work, labor of love, and we understand the critical importance of it. We will work together. You have our commitment that we will work together to make this successful. And I really want, once again, Minister Bryan, to thank you. You've done a terrific job as the chairman of the Caribbean Tourism Organization. And I know that when we were at the CTO meeting in May, we had a wonderful opportunity to sit down and discuss a number of initiatives. And this is about one of the initiatives that has borne fruit. So we really want to thank you for your leadership there. And I want to thank you for all that you've done to allow us and to allow the board to consider this request and for the Board of Cayman Airways Limited to make and to give us the go-ahead to get this happening. We believe in the partnership and we will continue to work as partners on this venture. And we look forward to working with you, Minister Bryan, and your team at Cayman Airways Limited and other exciting future prospects, because we believe if you have spare capacity and that can be utilized in a most efficient way, that you don't lose money, then there are additional opportunities to be had. So I really want to extend my thanks to everybody who would have been involved in the negotiating team at Cayman Airways Limited and also Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc., which was led by our chair and another consultant and others there. So those are my closing remarks, and I thank you on behalf of the people of Barbados as well.
Thank you, Minister Gooding Edgehill. Minister Bryan, I'll ask you to have your closing remark. Give your closing remarks now.
Thank you so much. First, let me start by thanking the Honorable Minister Gooding Edgehill. We always do the formalities of minister to minister, but I must say he's a good friend and a good people of Barbados, has a great minister leading their tourism product. And in this partnership and this discussion has been really great. I think it's going to be mutually benefit for us all. I thank him for his kind words in respect to my chairmanship. I look forward to coming to visit on the inaugural flight to Barbados. I want to say a special thanks to Ms. Shelley, though, for the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc., who is majorly important in the background on the Barbados side of things. Didn't get to say much today, but she's a superstar in Barbados. So the good people and the good minister has a strong team over there. Likewise, my team in Cayman. And I'm so grateful to have them, particularly the chairman, leading our strategies from a company perspective as well as a tourism perspective. I probably wouldn't be able to shine as great as things are now as minister without their help, and the CEO of Cayman Airways leading the amazing employees at Cayman Airways. So the reason why people want Cayman Airways is because the staff at Cayman Airways is that awesome. People love it. I want to say to the Bayesian diaspora that is here, they have a special group that have been reaching out to me, talking to me about wanting direct service to Barbados from over a year and a half ago. They travel once or twice a year back to Barbados. I know they're pretty super excited about the news today, so I'm hoping that as soon as we have those flights announced, you can book some of your tickets. I think the other component of our tourism product, which is Carnival, we want to expand that. I think this also opens up that area of tourism opportunity. There's a strong culture of Carnival, obviously, in the Caribbean. Ours is not as strong, but I think this gateway will now allow an opportunity of all of those Eastern Caribbean islands to say, when we have Parks Week, or we have Badabanu, or we have K-Mass, they can come on down and join us to show you how we do Carnival here in the Cayman Islands. So there's a lot of benefits here. With that being said, to the good people of the Cayman Islands, I want to remind you, I love you. Try to have a wonderful day, be kind to each other, and to the Cayman Airways staff, thank you for all the amazing work that you do. Let's make another successful route. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Minister Brian. And that ends our press briefing today. We'd like to just thank the public, the public who's watching at home, the media, and our panelists and our special guests for joining us today. I'm Mona Lisa Mead with the Ministry of Tourism. Thank you so much for joining us, and enjoy the rest of your day.